Alright guys, today I'm going to be covering a complete farming guide in just a few minutes. The main reason for farming is to grow crops for things that don't grow naturally. So in my current version, which is 194, longgrass, citronal, savroot and rock arrowroot seeds are all available if you go out and harvest things naturally, but you don't actually get the fruits from it, so you need to go out and grow them. So to plant any of these four crops, you need at least a medium or large crop plot. Small crop plots are only for planting berries into. The main difference between the medium and a large crop plot is the increased amount of water that the large can hold and a slight increase in yield. However, if push comes to shove, I just suggest just get the medium ones. It's better for the resources and you don't really notice any differences in yield. So there are three things that crop plots need before you can grow anything in them. That's water, fertilizer and a seed, obviously. Light has no role to play in this yet, so you could actually grow stuff in caves if you wanted to. It's also been suggested that in the future that heat might have played a role, but currently in this version for me, this has no effect. I'm going to address each of these three necessities and give advice about the best ways to do each of them. So to start with, you'll need an irrigation system to provide water to your crops. You can solely depend on the rain or even place water containers inside. However, this will make your crops take longer to grow as you'll tend to run out of water every now and again. So definitely invest in irrigation. It's also worth noting that simply putting a crop next to a river or a water source won't irrigate it. There is a little difference between metal and stone irrigation, apart from metal pipes are a lot stronger and the metal taps have a slightly larger area of effect for the amount of plots that they water. My advice though is just stick to stone, as metal is fairly hard to, harder to obtain than stone. When you come around to building your pipes and taps, make sure you don't overdo it. It's quite surprising how far taps actually reach, so the top tip would be to place your crop plots first, and then add a tap at a time until all of the plots are irrigated properly. Once you've got your crop plots, all your seeds and your irrigation laid out, the next problem is fertilising them. This can be easily achieved by simply throwing poo into the crop plots, however this way ends up becoming more time consuming as it provides far less fertilisation than a bag of fertiliser, so you're honestly best off making fertiliser in compost bins. Now I'll put a link in the description below to the wiki page where it gives you a table where you can see all of how much everything fertilises and stuff. It's really simple to make fertiliser. All you need is 50 thatch and 3 of the same kind of poo, and you put that in a compost bin. Now it does have to be 3 of the same kind, so it can be 3 human or 3 large, but if you mix and match it doesn't really work. This will create 1 bag of fertiliser in about 50 minutes, hence why it's useful to have multiple compost bins and stockpile the fertiliser in a chest. Each fertiliser bag gives you 54,000 units of fertilisation to each crop plot. I don't know if that's actually a word, but that's what I'm using. So to last a full 24 hours, you need 3 fertiliser bags within a single crop plot. If your crop plot runs out of fertiliser, the plants within them will degrade over time and go back through the growth stages and eventually die. So the growth of a plant occurs in 5 main stages. Seeded, which is sort of the quickest one I guess, and happens when you just put the seed in and everything else is there like the fertiliser and the water. It then moves to a seedling, then a mildling, then a growthling, and finally a fruitling. Now the fruitling is the last stage where you can harvest it. To get from seeded to a fruitling, it takes about 24 hours. Now this is a bit generalised, it depends on the conditions, like if you're fully irrigated and you've got a lot of fertiliser and stuff, as it'll slow down if you don't do these things. So you can have a look on the wiki again and see exactly how long each stage takes, but to be honest, everyone sort of argues about it, bit hit and miss and no one really knows, but it does take about a real day for crops to get from seeded to a fruitling and bearing fruit. So just a quick top tip, I'm imagining that you're going to be using these to create recipes, which means you might want to stockpile them. Now to do this, really the best method is just leaving the fruit in the crop plot for as long as possible, as that's where it'll not spoil for the most time. However, if you have to take it out, do not keep it in your inventory. It only lasts for about 4 minutes in your inventory, which is just rubbish, because obviously it's basically taking a day to grow it all, so you don't want it wasting away. So either use a fridge or a preserving bin, preferably a fridge, because that'll make it last the longest. And that's it guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If it's helped, please have a look at my channel, and there's a lot of other videos like this on ARK. If you have any questions or anything if I missed out, just comment below and I'll try to get back to you as quick as possible. Thank you for watching guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.